I'm joined now by John Healey, who's the Shadow Defence Secretary. John Healey, what on earth has happened in the House of Commons tonight?
Well, this was a day we could have shown the best of the British Parliament, coming together to demand an end to the fighting now in Gaza, much more aid into Gaza now, a release of the hostages now, and a ceasefire that could be observed by both sides and build into a lasting peace. Instead, we've shown Westminster at its worst, descending into a row-about procedure with the Conservatives boycotting their own vote, the SNP walking out on their own debate, and this has done nothing to help the Palestinians, and it's done nothing to advance the cause of peace.
You could say the SNP started it by having a debate on their time on a motion on Gaza which they knew Labour MPs couldn't support. But do you blame the Speaker of the House of Commons for stepping in and offering this third way, to use that line from Labour history, this way of allowing Labour MPs to support a different motion which broke with recent precedent?
I applaud the Speaker for that. The Speaker is there to protect the rights of all MPs in the House of Commons, and he was trying to ensure the widest possible debate. He knows this debate matters to Parliament, it matters to our communities, and it matters beyond Britain to countries around the world, including in the Middle East. And so he was doing as Jacob Rees-Mogg has said, reflecting the will of the House of Commons in doing so.
He's left now, though, on Wednesday evening, fighting for his job. I mean, there are suggestions that the SNP grouping no longer have confidence in the Speaker. I mean, when you lose confidence in the Speaker can't survive. I last saw this happening in 2009 in the MP expenditure scandal. Will he survive this?
I think he will. I mean, he is not there to do the bidding of the government. He gave the SNP, he gave Labour, he gave MPs of all parties the chance to have their say. And we lost sight this afternoon of what we were there for. When the death toll in Gaza has reached 30,000, hospitals have been smashed, families are starving, yet more children are being killed. That was the reason that we put forward the demand on Israel not to go ahead with their offensive into Rafah, that Hamas release the hostages, and that the British government get alongside other countries now to call for an immediate humanitarian ceasefire, and one that lasts and can build to a long-term peace.
Are there some issues that maybe you can't debate and accept and have a yes or no vote at the end of it? And what one could be, because it's so contentious, isn't it? This whole the whole fighting in Gaza. Was this something which is beyond the realm of the Parliament to do properly?
No, this is exactly what Parliament could and should be able to do. And this was an opportunity to come together. We missed that opportunity, and instead we allowed ourselves to get dragged down into a row-about procedure. When the Speaker gave us the opportunity, in fact, to have a wide debate, to put the different plans to a vote, not just the government's plan or the SNP's plan, but the much more substantial, long-term, visionary plan that Labour had tabled for today as well.
I'm going to ask you, there are rumours that Labour said we'll support you to be Speaker in the next Parliament if you allow us this amendment. Is that correct?
Well, there's stories that the Speaker was put under pressure are totally untrue. They've been rejected by Labour, they've been rejected by the Speaker. He was trying to ensure the best possible debate. He's there to protect us all, to reflect the interests and concerns of the country in Parliament, and he's certainly not there to do the government's bidding.
Just finally, will you be having this debate again? Will you allow on your time as the opposition party, or will the government allow a proper debate on Gaza where a vote can happen and it won't fall apart like this?
There has to be further debate. There has to be further debate, because we've all got to not just call for what we want to happen, we've got to work for what we want to happen. And that's why Keir Starmer and I and David Lammy were out with the Global Security Conference at the weekend, meeting world leaders to thrash out quite how we see the support aligning. Other allies now also calling for an immediate humanitarian ceasefire, calling on Israel, as America have done as well, not to move against Rafah, and to see an immediate release of the hostages. That's the way forward. We're going to have to debate that again, and we want our government to keep the work up as well to try and secure that long-term peace.
Well, John Healey, thank you. And that's John Healey there, the Shadow Defence Secretary, with explanation of some of the chaos tonight in Parliament over this Gaza vote.